I gotta say, I think Kalthas is my favorite hero here in Rebirth of Glory. Now, if you have a favorite hero, let me know who it is and why is it your favorite hero. I like Kalthas because I think he is super cool with that bow, and then it's just like a badass look, you know? Super cool. So my name is Shinchi42, and this game is called Rebirth of Glory. I found this game on the advertisement on Facebook and as well as I think Instagram, maybe I've seen it. I don't know how you found this game. Maybe you found it through me and you're playing it now, but so far it's really fun. So today we're going to talk about hero investment guide for Rebirth of Glory. As this is going to be a longer video, there is going to be a timestamp, so feel free to hover into the timestamp for whichever topic that you want to really look into and focus on. So, but I do recommend, of course, to watch this completely because I will give you a lot of details on how you're going to be investing onto this hero and a little bit of breakdown on how you can basically increase your hero power, make it stronger, how you can level it up, and how you can get tokens to increase the skill. So first, let's talk about the tiers of hero. So as you can see, there are different colors of hero. If you're coming from other games that are SLG, you are probably aware that different colors means different power. So as you can see, the blue ones typically are going to be the weaker ones. This is a uncommon hero, which is the lowest tier. In Rebirth of Glory, there is only 3 tiers of heroes I have seen. Uncommon, and then we move into the elite hero, which is going to be a purple color on the background, and then eventually you're going to see a legendary hero, which is the strongest hero that you can get here in Rebirth of Glory when it comes to tier. But in each tier, there is also ranks amongst them, which is better and which is not. So if you're investing into the wrong heroes, and then it can have a detrimental effect in the long run on your gaming here in Rebirth of Glory. Now, let's first talk about how can you get certain heroes in the game. So when you first start into the game, you're going to have heroes unlocked to you, and then there are going to be ways for you to unlock them. So first, I'm going to tell you that there's going to be this thing called Fantasy Roulette. This is where I'm able to get Reid, and as well as where I was able to get Voll. Now, Kalthas is a hero that you can get from the lookout post. And whenever you do the chieftain battles, I think every 5 after you get the Reynolds tokens in here, you're going to see Kalthas. So that is something that you need to do in the lookout post. Now, other heroes can then be obtained in the miracle pier. So you have to go and click search in here, and you can get the heroes in the normal search and as well as in the advanced search. So you'll have to use your advanced search items in here and as well as the normal search items. Now, in this game, there is no factions or civilization. So if you're used to that type of thing, it is quite different here in Rebirth of Glory. It's simple, yet also intriguingly complex once you get into everything in here. Because let me tell you, there is a villagers that you can put to work, which is pretty cool. But today's topic is pretty much just about hero. So now let's talk about how do you level up the heroes in the game. Well, you can use the XP manual books in here to increase the level of the heroes. I do recommend that you don't use any XP because in the top lord event, there is going to be this thing called upgrade heroes, to which when you upgrade your heroes by level or by adding, tokens in here to improve the skills, you're going to get some points. So you want to hoard it. As you can see, I have hoarded everything in here because I'm going to be using it onto my next day top lord event. So that's one way for you to increase the level of your hero by using the manual XP, or you can just simply defeat monsters in the game, and by doing that, you're going to be able to get some XP. So you can defeat monsters from here. As you can see, you can just search them. You can also defeat monster layers, which you're going to rally. It's kind of cool that they have a search function in here. You're going to rally it, and then you're going to be able to get some rewards, which is the XP book, and you can bank those books and then use them later on in the stage. Now, I do recommend that you must upgrade slightly. Perhaps you can stop to where I'm at right now, around 37, and then hoard it, and then upgrade again. It really depends on your strategy and how you're moving in the game. I do recommend that you upgrade a little bit just so you can defeat higher level monsters as well. Okay? Now, investment strategy. As I've mentioned in here, there are 3 tiers of heroes here in the game. The uncommon, the elite, and the legendary. So I don't recommend that you put in every XP books you got into your uncommon hero. Now you do need to work a little bit on your uncommon hero because these are going to be your primary hero in the beginning stage. But then I want you to quickly work onto your elite hero. Like I've worked on Rex right away, I worked on Reynolds, and I worked on Linda a little bit, but not too much on Linda. I don't have a huge plan on certain heroes in here. All right, so first let me talk about the uncommon hero. The uncommon hero, this is not supposed to be your main fighting heroes. If I see you with a main fighting hero and you are using the uncommon hero, then you're not doing good in here. Yes, you can initially fight with the uncommon hero, but eventually if you manage to able to unlock the legendary heroes in here, then you need to switch it up and put in legendary heroes instead. Try to avoid using the uncommon hero into fighting, especially on PvP. On PvE, it is slightly acceptable that you can use it because it has some certain value. Like with Baldur, with the Hunter talent tree in here, it can definitely be helpful in the beginning. Since there is not a lot of heroes yet, it is okay if you do use it, all right? But at a later stage of the game, I don't recommend for you to use the uncommon heroes at all. It would be okay in PvE, which is fighting against monster, but as the monsters get stronger, you will want to use stronger heroes as well. And since the game is free to play right now, there's completely no spending. Everything that you're seeing right now is 100 F2P, and if I'm able to manage to work on my heroes in here, you should be able to do that as well. All right, so first let's talk about Baldur. This is an infantry unit which is running with the berserker troops, Excel leading berserker troops, a hunter, all right, and then a defensive hero. Now the defense, you can scratch that. You're not going to use this on your base because it's a uncommon hero. Baldur has some good amount of damage factor though, but little only onto the buff that we can see onto the next skills in here. Very little in comparison to the elite as well as the legendaries. Now these two heroes is just a hero that you're not really gonna use a whole lot. All right, now let's move into your elite. Now these elite are functional, all right? They are very helpful to you. One thing to mention also is that if you have the general path in here like the Linda, so go into Linda, make sure to add this quick work. It is going to help you to gather fast in the field. So gathering speed plus 20%. Now Linda as an elite is going to be a good one. I'm thinking about investing onto Linda and as well as Kalthas because that's going to be my pair for my slingers in here. You get 4,000 damage factor, 24% attack in here. This is actually a decent elite hero here in the game. You're able to increase your squad attack by 9% and then movement speed by 9% as well. You're going to be able to get some bonus damage as well at 2,500, which is huge, although it is a 10% chance. And as well as here, we're going to see whenever your squad HP is lower than 50, then you're going to increase the damage and as well as marching speed. And once you get all these 4 skills max at 5, you're then going to get a new skill, increase damage dealt by squad by 10%. So Linda is a good one. If you want to specialize into slingers, which I assume many people will do, then you want to work on Linda. And as you can see, I haven't really invested any of my, tokens in here. So if I go and click skills right now, and I've got tokens in here, you can see I've got 33 Linda tokens. I can work onto that one, but I can also do an exchange in here. I got 154, so I'm going to be working onto Linda later on and working towards that so I can pair it up with a legendary Kalthas on my setup in here because I think this is going to be a very good setup in here with these slingers. Now the next one is going to be Reynolds. This is the cavalry of the elite right now. Good for hunting units, good for moving around. Great damage in here, 4,200 and increasing its defense with a 45% for 3 seconds. And then you're going to see cavalry troops attack as well, marching speed, healing factor, all these stuff in here that is going to make it stronger. And as you can see, after awakening, you're going to improve this. Wow, insane. That's a huge damage in here. So if you're hunting players, farmers, perhaps farming, it's completely acceptable. Kill farmers. You want to cut off supply of resources, then you got to use Reynolds. If you manage to unlock Erin, then you want to do that one. But if you don't manage to unlock Erin, then you can just start with Reynolds And then you can just pair it up with the Rex if you would like. That's completely okay because it's going to help you with rage recovery with Rex. I mean, honestly, you can pretty much do whatever you want, pair it up with whatever best, hero that you got in this certain time because there's not a lot of heroes yet. So Rex will be a Berserker troop hero. Initially, you're going to be making a pair in here, like what I've done is Rex and Baldur when I didn't have my legendaries yet. Rex is a good hero, definitely helped me out in the beginning in here. Great tanky, as you can see, has a shield factor 5400 and rage recovery as well every enemy that attacks him. So the more people that swarms Rex, as you can see, it will recover 12 rage for every enemies that attacks him, up to 36 rage per turn. That's a lot. Now, Rex has counter attack damage and attack reduction in here as well, and you can increase the Berserker troops attack and as well as defense, and then you can also increase it further into the damage. As you can see, increased damage dealt by 2.8% when shield is activated, which is the shield right here, and then of course you're gonna get extra benefit when you are garrisoning, increasing the squad by 2.5%. So if you are starting to the game and you're actually getting hit by the city, and your city is getting hit, then you want to use Rex into your city. So all you got to do is move into your city in here, go into the wall, and then you want to set up your garrison defense in here to make sure to defend yourself. So Rex is a good hero in here. It has a defense ability, and then when you manage to get the awakening, commander troops will have their counterattack damage increased by 7%. So basically it's enhancing the unyielding skill in here, which is this one. This is going to be the unyielding, so that's what it's going to do. It's going to enhance it right there. So investment wise, we're going to discuss that in a little bit in here on how you're going to invest this in my own suggestion. Now, legendary, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 legendary. All right, so not all of them are great. I'm avoiding certain of them, and I recommend that you don't invest on all of them as well. So I think some people have already invested in Alvin. I don't really recommend that. So let's talk about this in here, the legendaries. All right, real quick. I'll give a brief overview on what I know and my own personal preference and as well as my own opinion in here. So first, let's talk about Vista. Vista has a general ability. What I mentioned earlier with the general, this is something that you will just want to work on to farming. So I got gathering speed for that one for Vista. All right. This one has a good, it's more of a support hero. It's not a main hero. You're not going to use this onto your primary. It is going to be a good secondary. So Vista is actually not too bad of a hero, since it also has an overall ability in here. You can use Vista with any marches you want. So Vista may be your second priority to work on in here. So Vista has ability on attack reduction as well as attack increase in here for 3 seconds at 60%. It's good because it's a support hero in the game. And, when you pair this up with perhaps with Kalthas, then that would really be good, right? You're going to be able to reduce the enemy's attack, and you're also going to increase all allies attack as well for 3 seconds. Now, when you're deployed as a deputy, it increased commander's rage skill by 6%. Now, when Vista, like I mentioned, when she is deployed as a deputy, meaning second hero, then it is going to increase the commander's rage skill by 6% damage in here. That's decent. Now, this almost, honestly, I wish it could be higher than that, maybe 15%. But maybe they're trying to balance the game out, not making the heroes in this game to be too OP. I think I'm so used to heroes that just so OP. So I think with this one, I like it that it's not too OP. Next skill here, reduce damage dealt by both sides by 20% for the first 5 seconds. So both of you, enemy and you, will have 20% reduced damage dealt for that first 5 seconds entering battle. Not the best, but here's the thing. Damage received by all allied troops will then be decreased by 22% the max level. When this effect ends, heal 10% slightly wounded troops. So it is really a support hero here in the game. Now, that's a lot, 20% reduction onto the damage, but perhaps you can kind of compensate that with the 6% skill damage. A little bit there, but it's okay. Now, as you can see here, when assigned to a rally troop, reduces their damage received by 9%. You can see this one is not going to be effective very much when you are using this in the battlefield, in the open field. This is completely not going to be applicable. Now, this is going to be the Awakening. As you can see here, reduce enemy attack by 60% and now also by 25%, and increase all attack by allies at 60% and defense by 25%. That is working on towards to your primary skill in here for the trick play. Okay, overall, I think Vista is okay, not the best, but you know, I think if you're going to invest, this might be one of your last options as well. It's okay to use it because it's overall, but I don't recommend this is something that you're going to be your favorite hero. Now, let's go and talk about Alvin in here. I think some of the early players in the game have invested in Alvin, so I'm not going to be too brutal with Alvin. I don't think it's my favorite in here. So when we look into Alvin, this is going to deal a lot of damage here, actually. Deals direct damage to the target, 7,000. That's huge. That's probably really, really high. And it's also going to heal lightly wounded units into your squad for about 40% conversion in here. So, and it's going to do the damage dealt in here. So as you can see, heals and lightly wounded units in your squad for 40% of the damage dealt. So you can see 40% of the damage dealt will be coming to the healing, if I understand that correctly. Now, as you can see in the second skill here, increased healing effect by squad 38%. That's huge. And then actually we're not seeing a healing factor, so how do we calculate that? We can see here increased XP gain. I don't like the increased XP gain. For me, when I see this is Gen a PvE hero. So this is something that you want to work on and just get this one and then use it to upgrade your heroes faster. But not my type of thing. It's not my cup of tea. Now you can see here you can increase the defense of the squad for 48% for 3 seconds whenever you receive a healing, and then Awakening will enhance that sustained battle. So this is the sustained battle. Alvin, though, I think he has some great tank ability, perhaps really good for PvE situations. You get some good healing in there. But I think long term, depending on how the game will develop its heroes, I don't see that I will really invest into Alvin. I am a type of person or a type of gamer who prefers focusing towards to high damage. So that, I like to play with DPS. So for me, Alvin is probably not gonna be it. It could be a good hero here with support. So if you're pairing it up with a tanky hero, then you can probably use Alvin with a tanky hero setup in there in the game. Kalthas is my favorite right now. Initially it's Voll, but now it's going to Kalthas. I gotta be a little bit more brief in here now. So Kalthas is good because it's going to be slingers. We got range, you got damage factor in here, 9,000 to max level, and an additional 5% for each mark onto the target. So you're going to be inflicting stacks into the target in here, as you can see. Now, in the second skill in here, you get a passive skill. Your probability will increase in here. Let's read this out. Reduce basic attack damage by 70% for the first 5 seconds of entering the battle. That's okay for 5 seconds. At the same time, since your range, at the same time you have 10% chance to be immune to the damage dealt by the current target. So chances probability it can increase to 20%. For the next 5 seconds, the increased basic attack damage every second in the following order. Right? That is huge. 35, 70, 105, 140, and 180. Now, if we got that at 59%, then it's going to increase as well. So that is going to be interesting. I can't wait to test this out, but right now, this is the path that I'm going to, we're going for Kalthas. Now, as you can see here, this is going to be the mark that we talk about the stacks. So, Breaker's Mark, basic attack have 10% chance to apply 1 mark stack to the target, and then reducing their defense as well at maximum of 8%. If the target has already 5 stacks, your next attack reduces their defense by 48% to the max. Wow. I think this is very interesting. It's going to be strong. I can't wait to see how this thing is going to turn out. When dealing damage, convert 10% of the damage dealt into healing for lightly wounded troops. Okay, good. Allows you to sustain into the battlefield longer. After releasing a rage skill, increases self-attack 40%. Whoa, that's a lot. That's huge. Now, let's talk about Voll. Voll, I like Voll. I'm actually working on Voll, but I think I'm going to switch my universal tokens to go into Kalthas in here. So Voll, a good hero in here. but I felt some people will probably disagree with me with Voll. I do like Voll. Has a huge damage factor, good skill damage in here. So I do like Voll. And Voll is the only AoE hero right now in the game as well. So, you know, it has some good things with Voll. So as you can see, it has a damage factor of 6,000, which is huge. And then when first released after entering the battle, skill damage is increased by 100%, which can trigger up once every 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a lot of turn, but you can at least trigger that 100% skill damage in there right away. You also get rage recovery in here up to 48%. Again, this is every 30 seconds, which I think it should just be 15 seconds, but I see where they're going. If they do reduce that, it could be too OP. So here onto this skill, as you can see, each unit with a health percentage below 50%, regardless of whether they are enemies or your friends. So which is good. If you're in a big, huge battlefield, you got your friends, you got your enemies, you're going to get some buff, you know, up to 4 to 16% to the max level. Voll is pretty good in a open field battle. It's going to be a good hero here. You're going to be able to also reduce the range of your enemies in here. If the battle, if the proportion of the remaining health points is greater than the target will then gain a decrease in anger speed. So if your health is higher than your enemy, your target, then you're going to be able to reduce your reduction. So whenever you're low on health on Voll, you might want to go back home already. The new skill, when the health of the troop leads at 70%, which kind of makes sense in here, right? The combination of these two skill. If you are 70% higher HP, then your attack and power and marching speed of the troop will increase by 7%. Now, Voll is a decent hero for what we got right now. I think there could be a better hero in the future, but depending on how the game will release heroes, I hope that they will release heroes slowly, to which you can at least enjoy that one hero first before releasing new hero. So I think Voll will be a good hero right now. Well, this is one of our options. I am working on Voll, but I don't think I'm going to work fully on Voll. I'm going to work on Voll till maybe good enough to use my Berserker to fight, but I'll tell you more of my investment strategy here in a little bit. Now, we got Reid, which is a new hero here in the game. Reid is a healer. Not a big fan of the healing ability, but I think in the battlefield right now, I think the healing will play a huge factor since the game is free healing. Okay, so 2800 healing factor, 30,000 attack damage reduction, and then it's going to decrease against enemy cavalry units. Now, Reid is not just that I just talked about. Reid is also a defense hero, which is going to be also a garrison hero that can defend your city. So if you're going to be getting rally in your city, or maybe it's a pass or a structure, then you can use Reid to defend the structure. Reid is a good hero. Initially, I was like, I don't really want to get Reid, but you know what? I was like, it's not too bad. Increasing Berserker troops 30%, which is good, and defense as well. Now here, receive 30% less damage from basic attack when garrisoned. So you have to be garrisoned for this to be effective. If not, it's not going to be effective. Counterattack damage increase at 22%. And it has a comma. So when it's comma, I think both of the attribute here needs to be effective in a garrison situation. When commander troops are garrisoned, all damage received is decreased by 12%. There's also a 10% chance to recover HP when counterattacking. So for me, really, with looking with Reid, it is going to be more of a a hero that you can use for defending. So if you want to play role, right, in the game, there is a bunch of different roles. If you want to play the role of a tank, of a garrison, of the defender in the game, then you will want to use Reid. Everybody will have to pick their own role, and it's not really my role that I like. After releasing the skill, 15% damage dealt is going to increase your damage, and up to 3 nearby troops. Oh, there's actually another hero here that has AoE besides Voll, so both of them are going to be a Berserker troop. It's really depending on your strategy here into the game. Now let's talk about the last one here, Erin, which I'm trying to compete for top lord. By the way, let me take a look in here. I am number 1 currently on top lord. I don't know if I will win this one though, but currently I am ranked number 1 as a free-to-play here into the game. And I started late, so just to let you know, I have some tips in here in the future for you guys. Now, Erin, All right, so Erin is a cav hero in here. I want to get Erin, huge amount of damage. I'm going to be able to chase down enemies in here with the calves. Huge damage in here. Direct damage factor, bonus damage factor, 8,000, 4,500. Huge, insane. Wow, 50% chance. That's a lot. And then it's going to increase your cavalry marching speed and increasing damage as well. Basic attack of troops under the command have a 10% chance to increase rage by 100. That's huge, man. So Erin could be a good open field and as well as using for rally in the future as well. Squads have a 10% chance to ignore the defense up to 24%. I think she is so powerful. Well, it has to be a powerful one for you to win it on the top lord, right? Top lord hero has to be a good one, right? So onto the awakening in here. As you can see, what they remove is that 50% chance. Now it is 100% chance that you're gonna hit that 4,500. Huge, man. Erin is strong. To have Erin, unlock Erin, is gonna make a lot of difference. All right, so let me tell you about my investment order in here. First, I'm gonna tell you that Erin is the strongest among all the legendaries in here. I am going to be investing onto Erin, but also I have to estimate what is the battle going to be like, since there is ranged combat, and based on my experience on SLG gaming, when there's ranged combat, range take precedence in the game and a lot of people will invest. All right, now let me talk about my strategy and my investment. Now, I want to let you guys know my strategy, my investment is not recommended for everyone. It is going to be my own personal preference in here and my own gaming approach. So I hope you will respect that. And if you have a different approach, please let me know in the comment section. So first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to be working on to Kalthas. Based on what I see in the future of this game, perhaps slingers will be the dominant troop. I'm going to work on Kalthas and as well as Linda for my epic. And then for my calves, I'm definitely going to work on Erin. I'm going to get Erin no matter what happens. Erin, and then also we're going to pair that up with Reid. So that's going to be my cav 1-2 march. And then I'm going to work on to Voll. Well, I'm going to keep Voll in here, whatever I got. If we get the fortune wheel again, or just spin, we'll do the spin. And then as well as with Reid, whatever spins we get, we'll just spin it. I'm not going to dump any universal tokens into Reid or Voll. Just keep that in mind. And that's going to be my infantry or my berserker march. It is just going to be mainly for tanking for later purposes in the game. And then if you look into Alvin as well as Vista, I'm probably just going to avoid it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm probably just not going to invest anything on them. All right. And then the next thing in here is Linda. What am I going to do with Linda? Oh, yeah, I did mention I'm going to use Linda with Kalthas. Rex, what am I doing with Rex? I don't know yet. Probably something extra march for farming, which doesn't have any benefit because we only have 2 farmers anyway that has the gathering ability. Probably bench Rex. Not sure yet what I'm going to do, depending on how I invest my berserker. So Rex might be on the back side in here, back end. And then of course Baldur and Elia. There's really no whole purpose for this in the later stages of the game or as we progress in getting stronger. So yeah, I don't really have any huge purpose for these two. I don't really recommend that you invest anything in this two anyway. Maybe if you're bored, you can work on him. So with Linda, by the way, keep in mind that this is a general type of hero. So there is going to be that 20% gathering. So I'm going to be using Linda mainly for gathering as well. So that's it. That's my hero investment guide. It is specific to my approach, and hopefully in my approach you can pick up a few details in there and you can tweak it and make it your own, or if not, you can just pretty much follow what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, we're all different gamers in here, and I respect everyone's different decision, different approach, different understanding, and let's just all have fun in the game. And Rebirth of Glory, I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe.